Good morning, Brad Washa with the Alaska Incident Management Team. I'm one of the Ops Section Chiefs on the team that's here on the Aspen Acres Fire. It is, the 12th of July, Sunday. Just wanted to say thanks. We got an overwhelming response yesterday of individuals that wanted to let us know that they were interested in us being able to do some operations on our property. And that was great. We have a whole task force of public information officers or fire information officers, and you guys basically broke their phone system with over 200 responses. Do want to talk a little bit about that. What we're really looking for and needing that concurrence from you is those individuals that are along the dozer line that we're putting in Rye, and we are looking at a larger area that we're I won't call it contingency line. It's what we're considering our primary line, but that area is, we're putting the dozer line in, but we don't feel that we could hold that fire with that dozer line if it was by itself, and wanting to do some thinning around the area. Also with that, our hope really is that fire does not make it to Rye, but we have to be ready in the event of that. And even if this fire, the Aspen Acres fire, does not make it to Rye, we always say kind of in the fire business, it's not when a fire, or it's not if a fire will happen, it's when a fire will happen. And down the road, there's a chance that there's going to be a fire in the wilderness, and this area has seen many fires, from the Oak Ridge fire to the Junkins fire, and the landscape has been filled with fires. So wanted to look a little bit at what we are trying to do to keep fire out of Rye. And we've got this area in Millset, along the Millset trail area, that's above Jackson Camp, and that really is kind of a technical area. It's fairly steep. It involves what we call downhill line construction, and in the fire world we have what are called the Incident Response Pocket Guide, or the IRPG. And in there it talks about some of the hazards that we deal with from a safety standpoint. On page 7 it talks about building downhill line construction, and there are a lot of risks when we're building downhill line construction, and it talks about what those risks are, and if we decide to do that, what are the mitigating measures. And in this area, what we've been doing is both building line from the 165 road up, and then trying to find a way to bring line down from the top and the Forest Service 369 road. We've gotten to a point where the dozers can't go any farther. We call it rocking out, and it's gotten to a point where it's too steep, or the rocks are just too large for the dozers to work. So we are going to have to connect that with hand line, and while we're doing that, we're continuing to hold that with air tankers. And I don't think we did any air tankers yesterday. I could be wrong about that, but we have been using helicopters to kind of keep this in check. I did see helicopters flying on our screen yesterday. So we are holding that. This is our goal, is to hold it up here and not have to worry about what we're doing along Rye. But do appreciate everybody calling in. There is, again, on the banner at the bottom, they would prefer that you actually email in on the incident's email address. But if you are interested and willing to let us do work in there, please contact us. If one or two homes say, well, we don't want to do anything, we have to work around that, and it makes things complicated. As far as looking to today and the weather, yesterday we really received no precipitation on the fire. I think there was a light little shower that came through. Today we're looking at a little bit warmer and drier conditions. There's still a chance of a thunderstorm, and that again is my big concern, is like if a thunderstorm parks up here. And even the other evening we were doing our briefing, and there was a thunder cell up by Colorado Springs, and we were getting about 35-mile-an-hour winds here in Pueblo. So that thunder cell can be far away and have impacts on us. And if we get those down drafts coming in, that is one of our biggest worries, as far as something that we wouldn't be necessarily prepared for. I mean, we're thinking about it all the time, but those thunderstorms are going to be kind of rogue thunderstorms. And so that is a concern for today. Going around the fire, again, continuing to work. We got pretty much the dozer line in. They're continuing to work that around, and coming around the wilderness, and then coming around the backside with that. And you know, I talked about what we're doing on this side. We're also starting to look at that 369 road and trying to catch it a little bit closer. As we move up, we continue in our division Zulu to work on, we just like getting little pieces of it, but we did a little bit of burnout late yesterday and into the day. This is our kind of our priority for air operations today, and keeping that fire in check in that location. We're feeling pretty good about what we've got going on there, but until we have black around it, we won't feel comfortable about that. Moving up to Greenwood and the Wetmore area, that still has heat in it, but you can see we have, and I think yesterday we actually did put some containment line around there. They're still working that pretty hard. Did have some talk about our northeast side, and that area is, there is quite a bit of heat, and talking with the divisions in there, they feel they're going to be in there for a couple days. This probably will not be black. Maybe our last day we could black it in, but that is requiring a lot of work. Down to Beulah, again, the team does not we advise as far as evacuations and re-entry and work with the Sheriff's Department, but my understanding is Beulah is going to be repopulated starting on Monday. We have a couple points where we have not totally blackened in the area, but we are feeling pretty good about Beulah, and it's been 12 plus days since fire came through there, so that's going pretty good. Continue around the horn, we've got good containment. We still have resources, even though it's contained, there are resources out there, and especially with repopulating that area, you know, we are getting calls of people finding a little bit of heat in the area. We also, in Rye proper, there is a tire fire, not associated with this fire at all, that the Rye Fire Department is responding to. So you may see some darker black smoke coming out of Rye. And right now they're looking at some options. You know, once you get fire in tires, it's a mess. But trying to get an excavator in there, and it's a big pile of tires, or a wall of tires, I guess is how they've referred to. And they're trying to break up that wall of tires. But you may see some black smoke in Rye. Don't be alarmed, it's not part of the larger fire itself. So for today, you know, we're continuing with our efforts, and appreciate the response yesterday from everybody. Weather-wise, again, a little warmer, a little drier, and that can be a good thing and a bad thing. As far as a good thing, you know, it will help with our mop-up, and that's important as far as kind of testing some of our lines while we've got resources there. That's a good thing. It can be, you know, where we have open line, it can be a little concerning, but we've got resources in place. And with that concludes today's update on the Aspen Acres Fire.